We ended up at the better one, and I do love this movie.
Yeah, it's fine. It's the Force Awakens, isn't it? But it's Jurassic Park. Basically, we're just doing the first film again.
It isn't the first movie again as much as Force Awakens.
No, you're right.
Partly because the beginning of Force Awakens is interesting, and the first 20 minutes of this film is very boring.
Yes, it's
and
true.
then it kind of switches on a dime and becomes amazing.
As you say, it's a bad trilogy, but this is definitely the best one.
The first film is amazing. All the sequels' premise are, oh no, it happened again!
Yeah.
And if you accept that, then all the other ridiculous things are just like, of course it's ridiculous. It happened again. It's fucking stupid. I went to watch this with my friend James, and at the end I gave this film a little round of applause because I was like, that was fucking nonsense and I loved it.
Yeah.
And he came out with this like, I wanted to see the first film quality again. And he was so disappointed. And we genuinely walking home had a bit of a like, what do you mean you enjoyed that? And I was just like, that was so dumb. It's like they've just gone, this is dumb. How can we make this fun? And they both done that and missed the mark in hilarious ways.
Yes.
It's incredibly fun and really fucking stupid.
Yeah, really fucking stupid. Yeah. Well, let's get cracking then.
The most boring opening scene of a Jurassic Park film.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
Because, like, first one's great with the raptor cage. Second one, you have the family on the island.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the third one opens with.
The guy parachuting with the kid and the boat gets
great.
eaten. Yeah.
This is like an egg.
We meet a child called Gray, which is a good name because he's not interesting. They're all going to visit Jurassic World, a dinosaur theme park we know about. He's looking at a Viewmaster of pictures of dinosaurs, and I'm thinking, right, this is just fan bait to please dinosaur people because a child would be looking at YouTube and actual videos of dinosaurs because they exist.
I was going to say, you've got a family scene where you've got, like, the young kid is boring, the older kid is
more
he's
boring.
got his girlfriend, and she says, I love you, and he says, see you later, which is actually the original line from Empire Strikes Back.
That's right. That's right. Harrison Ford changed it.
And the dad from The Office is the dad. Well, the dad is one of the guys from The Office because Colin Trevorrow loves comedy.
He loves comedy. Comedy Trevor lol.
They've got a character who complains a lot, and what's her name? Karen. They've called her Karen.
Oh, awful.
It's a bit on the nose.
And then the advice their mum gives them, if something chases you, run.
And I believe that Colin Trevorrow has put this in this amazing... they teach this in film school. That's quite good for the trailer.
Yeah, definitely.
There's quite a lot of that in this film.
There's a lot of that in this film. Because he's a student of Spielberg, like J.J. Abrams is. They're like, well, we have to borrow from some sort of homages to Spielberg as much as we can. And in this one, he's gone, let's go with divorce. They're always in Spielberg films, aren't they? So have the parents getting divorced for no reason.
So they then travel to the island?
Yeah.
Can you imagine having to get a boat to a theme park every day?
No. When they're talking about later on, they're like, oh, attendances are down because people are bored with dinosaurs. It's like, no, the logistics of getting your island are fucking awful. It probably costs 20 grand.
Yeah. Yes.
Can't you put an airport on the island? It's fucking massive.
And then they arrive on the island and they meet Zara the chaperone.
Yeah, Claire's too busy to meet them because she's an evil executive. That's right. She just thinks about the dollar.
Dollar bill, yo. And then we get monorail.
I hear those things are awfully loud.
It flies as softly as a cloud. Is there a chance the track could bend? Not on your life, my Hindu friend.
What about us brain-dead slobs?
You'll be given cushy jobs.
Were you sent here by the devil?
No, good sir, I'm on the level.
The ring came off my pudding can.
Take my pen,
He flings open the doors and says, I want to see it. And then the camera zooms out and we get this beautiful vista of the Jurassic World, not park, world, even though it seems smaller than Jurassic Park, but we'll get into that later. Because Jurassic Park had a very cool thing where you could go around and look at all the enclosures, but this just seems to be like one promenade with a little hut at the end. Okay.
There's a bit here where the tannoy says, attire such as shoes and shirts must be worn at all times.
Yeah.
Which does sound dumb.
Does.
But I don't know if you've been to Alton Towers.
No.
It literally says on the sign, shoes and shirts must be worn at all times on the ride.
Makes sense.
And I'm like, what has happened there? Has somebody lost their nipples?
I get the shoes
What
thing
happened?
because you could like lose a toenail or a toe, but I don't get the shirt thing.
Do you reckon it's their way of like stopping people flashing on the...
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of it from the male point of view, but maybe they don't. Maybe some ladies get the old bobbly doos out, and then that's bad for children. You know, children don't want to see that. I don't know. You have to take it up with Alton Towers. Claire gives a briefing and she speaks to investors. She said that everyone is bored by dinosaurs now and the park isn't making money because obviously people hate zoos because animals are boring. We need to put a blue whale in a tiger or something.
She basically like bigs it all up, but it's kind of like, we need something more exciting. And it's like, what did you have in mind? And then a guy says, we want to be thrilled.
Yeah.
But he says it in the most wooden way.
We want to be thrilled.
Yeah, she says she presents the Indominus Rex.
Henry Wu, the one guy that agreed to be in this new franchise initially.
Yeah, I'll come back. Okay, well, we're going to make you the baddie. Oh. Was I memorable in the first one? Well, you were in a memorable bit, but now you're back as baddie because no one else will come back. So director Colin Trevorlol said that the Indominus Rex is the centre of the film's story. He says it's symbolic of consumer and corporate excesses.
But it makes that good point badly.
In a film that is designed just to be a corporate exercise. Well, the Indominus Rex has been designed, I don't know if you noticed, he has little spikes on his head, like, you know those things they put on top of statues and bus stops to stop pigeons landing on them?
That's exactly why.
I think it is.
It's in very far down the list. You've got T-Rex, Raptor, cuttlefish, snake, and then also just bus stop.
Yeah, pigeon deterrent.
You don't want any homeless people sleeping on the top of your Indominus Rex.
That's why he's at an angle. Yeah. Claire then meets her nephews. Mr. DNA's got a little cameo. It's fun. She has no connection to them. Can't remember how old they are, having not seen them in 7 years.
Your aunt works at the most exciting theme park in the world and is like like high up there. This is the first time you've gone in 7 years.
Yeah.
Surely you'd be there every 6 months.
So then we get to the control room and we meet Lowry. Now he loves Jurassic Park.
Is that Nick Miller from...
Yes.
Is it Safety Not Guaranteed?
That's right. Colin Trevorrow's only good film, apparently. I feel sorry for him because he got booed off the Star Wars film when he made that terrible movie that no one liked, Book of Henry.
I didn't want things to get violent. Violence isn't the worst thing in the world. What is then? Apathy.
Yeah. I mean, fuck around and find out, I
well,
guess.
quite. Yeah. Lowry's told off because his Jurassic Park t-shirt apparently is in poor taste.
Yes.
Is any more poor taste than actually opening a theme park where people died?
Yeah.
He says, now he goes, man, that first park was legit. It didn't need hybrids. And I'm like, mate, they were all hybrids with frogs, weren't they?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? She says his workspace is chaotic. And I feel like
dinosaurs on it.
I'd understand if he looked like the fat fella from the first film's desk. But he's literally just got 4 or 5 plastic dinosaurs on his monitor.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Newman's desk is chaotic and he's actually trying to bring the whole thing down.
Exactly.
And nobody has a go at his desk.
What a complete slut.
We then meet Simon Masrani.
Best character in the film. My personal favourite.
Yeah, I mean, he's having a nice time, isn't he?
And
it's just
I
a really
want
bad
people
one.
to enjoy the dinosaur park that Hammond had.
Yeah.
We shouldn't waste money because we spent lots of money on that dinosaur and we can control it. Oh, fuck the whole thing.
Also, he keeps talking about the park that Hammond had, and I'm like, he didn't even fucking have it.
Yeah, they go to the Indominus Rex pen. So
Yeah, she tells him he's very clever and he's tried to break the glass and tried to eat a worker and also ate his sibling.
Yeah.
And how does he not know any of this? He's like, oh, right, really? Oh, cool.
Because he doesn't read emails.
Doesn't really. He's too busy. He's too busy on his chopper. Mm-hmm. So we get to cut to Owen now, who is. I don't like this. I really don't like this.
What?
Well, I think we talked about this in other episodes, but the Raptors are our sort of cuddly friends now. I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No.
You don't like it?
I mean, I suppose they did 3 films.
Aspect of it.
It is, and they did 3 films where the Raptors were essentially the baddies, so I guess they needed to change it up a bit. But bloody, it's so annoying.
It's called subversion.
I know, I don't like it.
Wow. You know how to cut to the core of me, Baxter. You're so wise. You're like a miniature Buddha. Come again? You know I don't speak Spanish. In English, please. Huh? You pooped in the refrigerator.
Oh, and Chris Pratt says the word shit.
He does.
Say no kiddie movie.
This ain't your dad's Jurassic Park. This is a Generation Z Jurassic Park.
Have we introduced Hoskins yet?
No, Hoskins arrives because Owen successfully gets them to stop and wait and feed them mices. And then Hoskins comes out and goes, wow, that's really impressive. He says, I'm very impressed with your work. And Owen tells him it's not usually a happy ending. And he's like, what, they wank you off? It's incredible. He says drones can't search tunnels or caves and can be hacked. But raptors are much more reliable sort of somehow, even though later on we do see they get hacked as well.
It's sort of weird. He's like really evil and malicious and incredibly optimistic.
Claire then goes to recruit Owen, and we get this really fucking shit scene because they went on a date once.
Yeah, the first time you see Chris Pratt sort of randomly fixing his bike for no reason.
Yeah, and drinking a Coca-Cola.
Yeah, and she says, we have an attraction, and he says...
That's not what you said the last time I saw you.
Yeah,
and then she
says,
says,
we never had
it's in a big
date.
wood, and he said...
That's not what you said the last time I saw you.
I need you to check the rim of the perimeter.
That's not what you said the last time I saw you.
Fences are failing all over the park.
That's not what you said
No, that is what Samuel L. Jackson said, actually. He goes, it's all about control with you. I don't control the raptors. It's a relationship. It's based on mutual respect. You might have made them in a test tube, but they don't know that. They're thinking, I gotta eat. I gotta hunt. I gotta... makes a fist pumping motion. You can relate to at least one of those things, right? And you're like, these two are fucking awful. Could they just fall in a river or something now or something?
You're supposed to agree with Chris Pratt, but you spend the whole time being like, ass.
And it feels like it's an introductory scene to his character, but we've already been introduced to him like one scene before.
Yeah, you're right.
So it lacks the freshness I think it needed to make this scene work. So she brings him to see the Indominus Rex. They can't see it anywhere. And then Claire immediately goes, oh my God, it's escaped. And then Chris Pratt and a fat man and a Latino man, you can guess which one survives, go out into the compound. She says, tell me where it is. And they go, it's in the compound. Call them back in or close the fence or whatever. And they go, what? And she goes, and shouts it down the phone. So you know it's an important moment. And the Indominus comes racing out from being invisible. And then Chris Pratt and the fat man manage to escape.
Yeah, the Chris Pratt runs under the car and pours oil on himself like he's at a P. Diddy party. Yeah. And then he just watches from afar as like this guy just gets eaten whilst looking Chris Pratt dead in the eye, which is genuinely quite sinister. It's one of those like, just occasionally you're like, oh, this film could have been like very good.
Yeah. Only have been better if he'd have held up a sign like in a Bugs Bunny cartoon just going, gulp. Just before he's eaten. Yeah. Because he gives him a look like kind of like, oh, God. Yeah.
Oh, what am I like? Chris Pratt lies incredibly still like a Mormon before getting soaking.
Yeah, because he's covered in petrol. The Indominus Rex is like, oh, what's that really strong petrol smell?
I must go to the Esso garage.
So, yeah, he walks off. The kids are on a monorail. And they're talking about divorce.
Yes, they've been to see the Chekhov's Mosasaurus.
Yeah.
And then, they're discussing divorce.
I'm going to say it now. Any filmmaker with a pair of balls would have killed these two.
Yeah, or like kill one of them, and then Claire has to rescue the other one.
Yeah. The Indominus killing them makes the rest of the film so, oh my God, anything could happen.
That would be fun. And then at the end, when her sister's there,
she goes, sorry.
It makes it even more awkward.
Yeah. Owen arrives back to the control room, and we watch them do basically that scene from Aliens, but with a dinosaur. Where they've all got their vital signs and their little cameras. Mm-hmm. And then she kills all of the special containment men.
Yeah, they don't want to kill it because Masrani's like, we've got 26 million invested in this asset.
Yeah.
This is the same guy who 15 minutes ago was like, I don't care about money. I just want everyone to have a nice time. I want the people to enjoy seeing the dinosaurs. And it's like, there's a very dangerous dinosaur about to kill a bunch of people.
And I'm sorry.
No, but it's quite a lot of money.
There must be a dart that they've made that is powerful enough to subdue an animal that big. They must have to use it all the time and all the other animals. I can't believe for a moment they haven't got a dart that is able to knock it out.
I mean, they do later on. It's called a rocket launcher.
That's true. Claire orders evacuation of the island's northern sector. And Masrani, incensed by what he's just witnessed, even though it's what he asked for, goes to see Wu. And we get my favourite line in the whole film. He says to Wu, I never asked for a monster. And Wu goes, monster's a relative term. To a canary, a cat is a monster.
Go fuck yourself.
Can we book you for the funerals of all the men that just died so you can tell the families that? That'll give them some solace. Fucking hell. So then
the kids in the balls.
They're in the ball, and we meet the real monster of the film, Jimmy Fallon.
Spoiler alert, I have a cameo in Jurassic World.
There's a whole lot of this film is like they kind of based off what would happen at Universal Studios, and Jimmy Fallon does an introduction to Universal Studios, which is why they got him in for this, because they were like,
I fucking hate Jimmy Fallon so much.
That's a parallel. I would be very surprised if anybody was revealed to be a corporate robot except for Jimmy Fallon.
Except for him.
One of the weirdest thing about the DVD extras for this film is that Steven Spielberg crops up every so often. The bit that he talks about the most in the DVD extras for his input was the gyrospheres. And he was like, well, if what I reckon you should do is put lights on them because you'll be going under foliage, it might get dark, and you're going to need that. And I'm like, you were brought on to produce this film because you made all these others, and the main thing you're focusing on is this giant balls.
Come on. Pick up. Pick up, pick up, pick up. Zach. Almost got it. Zach. Yeah. Look.
I'm Jimmy Fallon, and I'm going to show you around on the world's famous Universal Studio Tour. It is the most amazing place, and there's so much to tell you guys.
I like the fact that Claire has remembered she's dealing with the dinosaur stuff, and then she suddenly remembers she has nephews. Because when she goes to Chris Pratt, like, you need to help me rescue my nephews, and his first question is, how old are they?
Imagine if she went,
very, very creepy.
One's 42 and one's 37. And Chris Pratt's like, well, I'm not bothering them. They can look after themselves.
Yeah, like, what is the age limit that Chris Pratt is like, nah?
Zach and Gray find the original Jurassic Park Visitor Centre so everyone can rub their nipples and listen to the Jurassic Park theme where they look at old stuff.
Ah, my nipples, they hurt! They hurt when I twist them!
So they find an old Jeep, Jurassic Park Jeep, that they managed to get running again because it turns out the older kid has got good knowledge of cars.
The younger kid goes, I thought you failed your driving test. And then the older boy goes, only the driving part. What is happening?
I guess it's one of those lines that you get in films where it's like,
I didn't know you could fly a plane!
Why, yes. Land? No.
with cars you can't really do that. You can say I can drive but I can't stop, whereas that doesn't make any sense. So
well, let's get out of here, Michael!
I've never driven forward before!
Claire and Owen search for the boys. They also find the original Jurassic Park place, but we get another nice tense scene where the Dominus turns up and sniffs about.
Yeah, my favourite bit of that point is where Chris turns to Claire and goes, shh.
Yeah. And she goes, what? And he goes, shh. Oh.
And then it's supposed to be that, like, the dinosaur's going to burst out of nowhere, but it just comes through like a fucking like cement wall.
Yes.
It's very fun. It's very silly. I really enjoy it, but not always for the reasons that they want.
Hoskins, meanwhile, has arrived in the control room with all these heavies. There's an Indominus Rex loose in the park. It's time to release the raptors we have no control over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, the only way Hoskins will make this work, and this is a pitch I would listen to if he said, look, I got 2 words for you. Saddle, dwarf. Masrani goes, no, I'm not going to do that. I've got a better idea. I can't fly a helicopter properly, so I'm going to take a soldier and a massive gun. I mean, that is the trailer moment, isn't it? Where it explodes and the Indominus turns around the explosion and just runs.
Yeah.
But when you know the context watching the film that helicopter contains Masrani and a couple of soldiers, it's actually really bleak.
It's so bleak.
Yeah. It's like the Hindenburg.
And then all the dinosaurs get out, and then it's like, it goes from, as you say, being very bleak to sort of dinosaur Benny Hill.
Yeah, it does. Flying dinosaurs come out, the pterodons and the dimorphodons. The ones that look like someone's moulded a T-Rex head onto a little budgie. They start attacking the resort. Zara, right, she gets picked up by them. And I want to ask you a question. Is Zara like a Nazi pedo or something? She gets the worst death I've ever seen in any film.
It's fucking incredible. It's so good.
She gets picked up, hung upside down, dropped into the water. Then all of the pterodons start diving into the water to try and get her. They pick her up again. And then as they're lifting her away, and she's obviously terrified and probably nearly drowned, the big Mosasaurus comes out and eats all of them in one gulp.
Yeah.
And
it's amazing.
Colorol Ruffalol, he says that he wanted to make the severest death that's ever been made in Jurassic Park. And I'm like, well, why have you picked on this woman that's done nothing wrong? Couldn't you have saved that for like Hoskins?
Like Zara's had one of the most brutal deaths ever. Hoskins is just wanking himself into a grave.
He's loving it. He's watching from the hill going, heh, 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 heh.
He's going, whoa.
Yeah. But they do meet up with the kids again.
And there's just murder and destruction everywhere.
Yeah. Hoskins is now in charge. He comes in and goes, now Masrani's dead, I'm in charge. Look, Owen, we're going to use these raptors. You can be part of it or not. And he goes, right, fine, I'll do it. And then the kids who love Owen at this point, they think he's the greatest. They say to him, what are their names? This is the raptors. He says, well, there's Charlie, Echo, Delta, and this one's Blue. She's the beta. And Gray says, who's the alpha? And he goes,
You're looking at him, kid.
You know, with a Harrison Ford performance, that moment would have been, oh, cool. With Chris Pratt, you're like, ugh.
Any man who must say, I am the king, is no true king.
And then there's like a really weird, just like the older brother's like, do you remember that ghost that protected you?
Oh, this is fucking stupid. He says, yeah, that's right. You made a shield out of cardboard. And he's like, yeah, I did. So just think about that. Oh, we got to talk about this now because they lead the Velociraptors to the Indominus, who's just hanging around the woods having a cigarette or something. Yeah. And then they're like, how'd you like that, Indominus? And then the Indominus turns around and starts talking like a raptor to the raptors.
And then Chris Pratt goes, oh, I realise why they didn't want us to know what they've combined it with. They've combined it with Saddam Hussein.
Yeah. Saddam Hussein? Relax, baby. And they've made the mother of all dinosaurs, as Saddam would say. And then Owen goes, oh my God, she's the new alpha now. It's like, yeah, no, we can see that. And then then Hoskins is like, fire. So they all start shooting.
Before that, he goes, imagine if we'd had these puppies in Tora Bora, which is so insensitive.
Yeah, my God.
And then he goes, are you recording this? Because he definitely wants to wank off to it later.
Oh, God, yeah. One of the raptors, I don't know which one it is, gets blown up by a rocket launcher. That's fun.
Chris Pratt is like, hello, you know me? And the raptor's like, oh yeah, I do know you. We are friends. And then a rocket launch just blows the shit out of them.
They run back to the lab. Owen's on his bike and Claire's driving a car with a Raptor trying to get in. That bit's quite fun, I suppose. Well, I had to write this down because Hoskins does a great speech.
Please.
Gray says to him, well, that's not a real dinosaur, pointing at the Indominus. And he goes, no, it ain't, kid. But somebody's got to make sure that this company has a future. Imagine that one a fraction of the size, deadly, intelligent, able to hide from the most advanced military technology, a living weapon unlike anything we've seen. You see, millions of years of evolution. What did we learn? Nature's the gift that just keeps... Oh, shit! It's so funny that he's in the middle of that speech and he just goes, oh shit, and a raptor's right in front of him. And then it just rips him to pieces. Hooray! And they get outside and the Indominus is waiting for him.
So then Raptor hems in the characters and then Chris Pratt is like, let's do some Jedi mind trick.
Let's do some
bullshit.
bonding. Yeah, let's re-bond.
The only way this can be broken is with violence or a kiss. But there's a moment where you're like, I think no.
It's that advert where the woman passes the Pepsi can to the riot police, but with raptors. Yeah.
I can't, Saddam. I'm with Chris now.
Hell, screw him! He can't pound your ass like I can.
Goodbye, Saddam.
And he basically tells them to attack the Indominus, which they all do. And I think 2 of them get killed.
Yeah, Chekhov's grill pays off.
Chekhov's grill pays off. Yeah, one of them gets blown up on the grill.
I can't remember what happens to the other one. And
I think the other one just gets thrown into a glass into a wall and just dies immediately. And it's just Blue.
Pathetic.
Blue's just left. And then one of the kids, the younger kid, says to Claire, we need more. We need more teeth.
Yeah.
So she goes and lets
Rob
out...
Beckett.
I was going to say Esther Ransom, but it works fine. Yeah, Rob Beckett's better, yeah. Because he's probably right that
them together.
These days he would be in this, so...
oh no, but it is a female dinosaur, so you're right, sorry.
Yeah.
I revoke.
They released the T-Rex, and we get the bit that everybody was up in arms about at the time of Claire sprinting whilst wearing high heels whilst the T-Rex chases her.
You're in a dinosaur park. None of this would happen. That's just like a kind of like silly film bullshit, whatever.
She does say as well that she trained and running in those heels every day, apparently.
We've got to talk about that running because people could suspend disbelief about dinosaurs roaming around the modern world, but people couldn't believe that Claire would be running in heels. They could not wrap their heads around that. Were you surprised that people noticed or even cared that much about that?
No, because the whole time I was like, this is really challenging. Like the entire time.
That is one big pile of shit.
My issue is it just gets so close.
I'd have found it more funny if she released the T-Rex, threw the flare at the Indominus Rex, hid, and the T-Rex just walked past all of them and just went off into the woods.
Yeah.
Completely ignored everything that was going on. That would be much funnier.
Fuck this.
But instead, the T-Rex and the Indominus Rex have a fight.
Yes.
T-Rex should always win. T-Rex is the best one.
Mm-hmm. And then Claire screams, run! And they've like bathed it in reverb. And then the 2 boys, Claire and Chris Pratt, go and hide just in behind a V-shaped rock.
Yeah.
So there is a rock in front of them, but they're still in plain sight.
Plain sight, yeah. Oh.
And then the most saccharine moment of all. Have you seen Homeward Bound?
No.
In Homeward Bound, spoilers for the kids' film Homeward Bound about the 2 dogs and a cat trying to get back home.
Mm-hmm.
And then the final bit is the dog that you thought had died comes back round the corner.
Peter.
Shadow!
Oh, Peter. I worried about you so.
Colin and Trevor all seen that and been like, we're going to do that with Blue.
With Blue. Not the boy band, the Raptor.
And then, Duncan from Blue comes running around the corner.
Now,
all rise.
The raptor attacks the Indominus, and then there's a big scuffle, and then just when you think there's no being this thing, the Chekhov's Mosasaurus rises from the water for no reason. Like that Mosasaurus, is it down there sort of saying, keep the bloody noise down, I'm trying to sleep or something, or...
I just think it's so funny that they're like, how do we solve any of the issues in this film? Just lob a big water dinosaur at it. Go.
Yeah, I mean, it's original.
Yeah.
So the next day, everybody gets evacuated, and Claire's nephews are safe, and their mum and dad come together, and presumably this has saved their marriage. We don't know.
Hopefully this trauma will keep them from getting divorced.
And then Claire says to Owen, what do we do now? And he says, I think we should stay together for survival.
Yeah, what should we do now? Probably some, fucking awful sequels?
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, how about we do 2 really bad ones?